listening or watching Radio Afinju. The time is 6 p.m.
Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfíjù. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfíjù. Rédíò. Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfíjù. Lórí WhatsApp. Àfíjù. Instagram. Àfíjù. Facebook. Àfíjù. Lórí X. Àfíjù. Lórí YouTube. Àfíjù. Lórí TikTok. Àfíjù. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfíjù. Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfíjù. Rédíò. Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfíjù. Rédíò Àfíjù. Rédíò Àfíjù. Rédíò Àfíjù. Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfíjù. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfíjù. Rédíò Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfíjù. Lórí WhatsApp. Àfíjù. Instagram. Àfíjù. Facebook. Àfíjù. Lórí X. Àfíjù. Lórí YouTube. Àfíjù. Lórí TikTok. Àfíjù. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfíjù. Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfíjù. Rédíò Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfíjù. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo Àfíjù. Rédíò Àfíjù. Rédíò Àfíjù. Rédíò Àfíjù.
This is the world news on Radio Afinju.
First, a look at the highlights. Tinubu meets with Tunde Bakare in Lagos. Mali says 2 more army posts attack as Jide's violence escalates. Trump hits 10 African countries with travel ban and restrictions. Good evening and welcome to the World News on Radio Afinju. My name is Tolulope Awoyale. The news in detail. President Bola Tinubu received in audience the 7th overseer of the Citadel Global Community Church, Pastor Tunde Bakare in Lagos. Bakare's visit to Tinubu was revealed in a post on X by the Special Advisor to President Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga. The former presidential aspirant under the All Progressives Congress APC in 2023 said his discussion with Tinubu focused on national development as well as the future of Nigeria. Bakare had in April criticized Tinubu, saying he is steering Nigeria in the wrong direction. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, has called for a greater collaboration among West African nations to enhance economic growth and regional integration. Speaking at a private sector roundtable held at the Metropolitan Club in Victoria Island, Lagos, Tuga emphasized the importance of harnessing the region's collective market strength and demographic assets. The event was part of the lead-up to West African Economic Summit, scheduled to take place in Abuja from June 20 to June 21st. Tuga highlighted Nigeria's prominent economic role within the sub-region, but noted that true progress depends on strategic partnership among member states. A Makurdi Chief Magistrates Court has ordered that 11 cattle rearers be remanded at the Correctional Center Makurdi for allegedly terrorizing Benue communities. The cattle rearers were identified as Nanzir Ishaya, Suleiman Umaru, Yakubu Malam, Dauda Abdukarim, Manu Buhari, Aruno Abdukarim, Ibrahim Malam, Yunusa Waziri, Idi Usman, Adamu Manu, and Abdullahi Wakili. The defendants, who live at various addresses in Castina Ala local government area, were charged with criminal conspiracy, illegal possession of firearms, act of terrorism, open grazing, and being in possession of cattle suspected to be stolen. The Chief Magistrate Kelvin Mbanogun did not take their pleas for want of jurisdiction but adjourned the matter until July 7, 2025 for further mention. Meanwhile, a yet-to-be-identified student of Benue State University, BSU, has been kidnapped by unknown gunmen. The victim, said to be a 200-level computer science student, was kidnapped at the BSU College of Health Sciences gate and whisked to an unknown destination. The incident occurred at around 8 a.m. today near the gate of the institution, Makurdi. Eyewitnesses said the victim was forcefully taken by unknown assailant, sparking panic among students and passers-by. Troops of Operation Adinkai have thwarted terrorist attack on Buratai and Malam Factory in Borno State, killing scores of insurgents. Disclosing details of the operation in a statement, the acting Deputy Director of Army Republic Relation (OPHK), Ruben Kongvangia, said the troops during the operation demonstrated superior fighting power against criminals, obliterating and inflicting casualties on scores of terrorists. He noted that the attack, which occurred on June 5, 2025, were repelled by a combined effort of ground forces and the OPHK air component. According to him, several lifeless bodies of terrorists were discovered and a large cache of arms and ammunition was recovered. He, however, noted that the troops pursued the treating terrorists into a demonstration of force and superiority, eliminating scores and recovering several AK-47 rifles, general-purpose machine guns, rocket-propelled guns, and other terrorist equipment. Away from Nigeria, Mali's army said Islamist militants hit two more military installations on Wednesday and today, the latest in a quick spate of attacks that the insurgents may have killed hundreds of soldiers and underscored their gains. An army statement said ground and air reinforcements were being mobilized earlier today to respond to an attack on the security post in Mahou, located in eastern Mali near the border with Burkina Faso. The attack was claimed by Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wa al-Muslimin, an Al-Qaeda-linked Islamist militant group active in Mali and Burkina Faso. There has been no claim of responsibility for that attack, though security analysts said it could have been perpetrated by fighters from the Islamist State branch and active in the Sahel region. In other parts of Africa, voters in Burundi are heading to the polls amid a backdrop of insurging inflation, fuel shortage, and complaints of political repression. Seats in the National Assembly and local council are up for grabs, but Evariste Ndayishimiye is safe in his role as president as he's serving a 7-year term that ends in 2027. The elections will test the popularity of governing CNDD and FDD party, a former rebel group which has been in power for the past 20 years. The East African nation was already one of the world's poorest countries, but residents there have been put under further pressure by a recent spike in the price of goods such as foods. In Asia, Guatemala, one of Taiwan's few remaining diplomatic allies, reaffirmed its support for the island during a visit by President Bernardo Arevalo, who said his people will work together with their brothers in Taiwan. Awoyale, on his first trip to Taiwan since taking office last year, said a welcome ceremony with Taiwan President Lee Ching-te that the two sides were firm friends and brotherly peoples. The United States has been concerned about China's efforts to snatch away Taiwan's allies, especially in Latin America. In February, United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio praised Guatemala's relation with Taiwan while on a visit to the country, saying the United States would help support it. In 2023, Taiwan's then President Tsai Ing-wen went to Guatemala a week after neighboring Honduras severed diplomatic relations with Taipei in favor of Beijing. New Zealand's parliament has voted to suspend 3 Maori members of parliament for their protests during a sitting last year. Opposition parliamentarian Hannah Rawiti Maipi Clark, who started the traditional dance, was suspended for 7 days, while our party's co-leaders Rawiri Watiti and Debbie Ngariwapaka were banned for 21 days. The lawmaker Didi Haka, when asked if their Te Pati Maori or Maori Party supported a bill that sought to redefine the country's founding treaty with Maori people. The treaty principle bills has since been voted down, but it drew nationwide outrage and more than 40,000 people protested outside Parliament during the bill's first reading in November last year. Last month, a parliamentary committee proposed suspending the parliamentarians. It ruled that the ACA, which brought the parliament to temporary halt, could have been initiated by other lawmakers. In Europe, United States Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said he was confident that members of the NATO alliance would sign up to Donald Trump's demand for a major boost in defense spending, adding that it had to happen by summits later in June. The United States President has said NATO allies should boost investment in defense to 5% of gross domestic product, up from the current target of 2%. As he arrived at the NATO gathering earlier in the day, Hegseth said such a commitment by all NATO members to spend 5% of GDP on defense had to happen by June 23rd and 25th, summit of NATO leaders. Diplomats have said European allies understand that hiking defense expenditure is the price of ensuring the continued United States commitment, the continent's security that's keeping the United States on board means allowing Trump to be able to declare a win on his 5% demand during the Hague summit. In a bid to meet Trump's 5% goal, Rutte has proposed the alliance members to boost defense spending to 3.5% of GDP and commit a further 1.5% to broader security-related spending, Reuters has reported. A Milan-bound Ryanair flight was forced to make an emergency landing in southern Germany late on Wednesday due to heavy turbulence from a thunderstorm, with 9 passengers injured. Police said the flight from Berlin landed safely in Memmingen, about 70 miles west of Munich, after bad weather prompted the pilot to initiate the emergency landing. Bavaria police said in a statement among the injured were a woman who sustained a head injury, a 2-year-old toddler who suffered bruises, and a 59-year-old woman complaining of back pain. All 3 were treated in a hospital, while others injured were treated at the scene. Ryanair said in a statement that the flight's captain had requested medical assistance ahead of landing. The airline, which apologized to those affected, said it provided a bus service from Memmingen to Milan late on Wednesday, as well as replacement flight early today. In the Americas, United States President Donald Trump signed a proclamation banning the citizens of 12 countries from entering the United States, saying the move was needed to protect against foreign terrorists and other security threats. The directive is a part of an immigration crackdown Trump launched this year at the start of his second term, which was included in the deportation to El Salvador of hundreds of Venezuelans suspected of being gang members, as well as efforts to deny enrollment of some foreign students and deport others. The countries affected by the latest travel ban are Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. It was gathered that the entry of people from 7 other countries, Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela, will be partially restricted. The order said the proclamation is effective on June 9, 2025, and visas issued before that date will not be revoked. In the Middle East, a United States and Israeli-backed organization distributing aid in Gaza said it was reopening 2 distribution sites a day after shutting them following a series of deadly shooting close to its operations. The United States-based Gaza Humanitarian Foundation said only 2 sites in the southern Gaza Rafah area would operate after all sites were closed the day before maintenance. GHF had opened 3 sites earlier in the week, and one of today's sites was in a new location. Meanwhile, Israel announced it had recovered bodies of 2 dual nationality Israeli-American hostage from Gaza. Gadi Hagi and his wife Judy Winston Hagi were killed and taken to Gaza after Hamas' October 7, 2023 attack that triggered the war. 56 hostages remain in captivity, with fewer than half believed to be alive. Reports said the Israeli military has intensified operation in Gaza since breaking the fragile ceasefire with Hamas in March, taking more territory with the government pushing to wipe out the Islamist militant group. Local health authorities said at least 20 Palestinians were killed in Israeli strikes across Gaza today, including 4 journalists in an hospital in the enclave's north. The military said that it had targeted an Islamist Jihad militant who was operating a command and control center. Talking sports. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has doled out a sum of 20 million naira to the Super Falcons following their victory over Cameroon. Nigeria defeated the Indomitable Lionesses 2-0 in a friendly at the Moshood Abiola Sports Arena, Abeokuta on Tuesday. The captain, Rasheedat Ajibade, opened scoring for the 9-time African champions from the penalty shots in the 27th minute. Ajibade doubled the advantage with a cool finish 3 minutes before the break. Governor Abiodun, who made a donation to the team after the game, also gave out 10 million naira to the Indomitable Lionesses. The Flamingos are gearing up for the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations. Justice Magudu's sides will face Tunisia in their first game in Casablanca on Sunday, July 6th. South African former Paralympic star Oscar Pistorius, who spotted competed in the triathlon last weekend in the coastal city of Durban, 12 years after murdering his girlfriend and a year after his release on parole. Conrad Domel, an attorney for Pistorius, confirmed to the reporters that Pistorius had participated in the Durban race. Singbako Numalo, spokesperson of South Africa's Department of Correctional Services, said he did not know whether Pistorius had received the permission to compete, but his parole officer would have needed to approve him traveling from where he lives to another district. Pistorius, dubbed Blade Runner for his carbon fiber prosthetic leg, shot dead 29-year-old model River Steenkamp through a locked bathroom door on Valentine's Day in 2013. In a crime that drew worldwide attention and shocked a nation inured to violence against women. Before we go, here again are the highlights. President Bola Tinubu received an audience in serving overseer of the Citadel Global Community Church, Pastor Tunde Bakare in Lagos. Bakare's visit to Tinubu was revealed in a post on X by the Special Advisor to President Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga. Elsewhere, Mali's army said Islamist militants hit 2 more military installations on Wednesday and today, the latest in a quick spate of attacks that the insurgents says have killed hundreds of soldiers and underscored their gains. In the Americas, United States President Donald Trump signed a proclamation banning with the citizens of 12 countries from entering the United States, saying the move was needed to protect against foreign terrorists and other security threats. That was the world news on Radio Afinju. To view our channel, please follow Radio Afinju on Facebook, X, and YouTube. The news was edited by Stella Adiroti. My name is Tolulope Awoyale. Thanks for listening. Good evening.
That was the world news on Radio Afinju.